Yo, what's up guys? Let's just go to full screen here. It's gonna be another Netease ladder game here on the map Amazonia. This was played, I think, end of March, so yeah, a week and a half ago. Apologies for not uploading. Uni is, well, it's uni, and yeah, it's a lot more work intensive than I thought, despite it being my last semester.
Ready to work.
I chose some pretty, I don't know, some pretty hard papers. And then, yeah, it's really strange. I honestly thought it was just going to be a cakewalk, but yeah, sadly it was not. Anyway, we have another Night Elf versus Human matchup here. We have Moon returning as the red Night Elf player in the top right. And looks to be standard start. Last time he did go for a Tavern Hero first, and yeah, it worked out pretty well, to be honest. It could have definitely gone either way. It was just that Chamiko took some unnecessary base trades, and yeah, when you're base trading versus a Beastmaster with Stampede, yeah, you're kind of asking to lose. Either way, Moon's gonna go for the standard Keeper of the Grove here. His opponent, Romantic, spawning in as the blue human player in the bottom left, is just gonna go for what it seems like a standard start as well. So we might just be having that normal human versus Night Elf matchup. I've been seeing a lot of Night Elves foregoing bears and just going straight into mass dryads, which is definitely a weird turn. I didn't actually anticipate this when we switched over to the patch.
This had better be worth it.
Because yeah, the only thing that got touched was pretty much archers and the Keeper of the Grove. Not much else really was touched for the Night Elves. Of course, Mountain Giants did get a little bit of a nerf in terms of food cost, and Glaive Throwers did get a little better, but honestly, those units were pretty much niche. They weren't really used all that often, so yeah, didn't really expect much changes here and there, but we'll see if this is going to change for this particular game. Obviously, last game I couldn't really talk about it because we had the Tavern Hero start. But either way, both sides going for the exact same camps, and they should have level 2 on their respective heroes. We do have the Keeper chasing the Scouting Footman, but really can't find too much here. He will be able to pick up maybe an Elemental, but he's just going to go after the Archmage instead, who is looking for some early harassment here. He does have Elemental start, so he should be able to apply some good pressure, but it seems like yeah, he's just going to get distracted by the Keeper instead. Early Tech 2 here for Romantic. Meanwhile, Moon also going for the same thing. Yeah, that's pretty much the name of the game. Despite a lot of people predicting expansion openings from both human and Night Elves this patch because of how strong the Keeper is and all that, and how humans always go first expand anyway. Yeah, with the amount of aggro that the Keeper brings with Force of Nature, it's probably a lot more difficult to place down those expansions. So we're just going to accelerate into tier 2 here, and this will probably just be a game that kind of relies on which kind of comp they go for, I guess, because yeah, honestly, Footman Archers not really going to finish the game unless we have some sort of a game-breaking surround on a hero. Entangle onto a Footman here, as I don't think that's going to be enough to kill. It will be enough damage though onto that Footman, however, as yeah, Keeper's just gonna probably invest his time chasing. Never mind, he's just gonna go for an entirely new Footman. Archers being brought over here, but they're gonna take quite a bit of damage. They're gonna go into the shadows. Need to be a little careful. They are a lot more squishier compared to Footman, so yeah, there is that. We might have one Archer down there, not able to get into the shadows quick enough. And we have so far a 1-for-1 trade, but we are gonna have a second Footman dropping here very soon. But that does get denied by the Archmage, and of course his Elementals. That was kind of overkill, but At least it gets the job done.
Our forces are under attack.
We do have a Hunter's Soul being placed down, so most likely going to transition into double lures here. Whether or not we're going to add in those bears is going to have to wait. We have the Alchemist coming out as, of course, the predicted second hero. Acid Bomb going to be used to try and finish off the Footman, who is going to get taken out by the Archmage instead. So, yeah, so far we've only had one Archer death for Moon. Meanwhile, Romantic has had to suffered about 3 Footman deaths so far. Of course, Footman won't be they won't be lasting very long in the mid game anyway, but it is still a bit of a nasty loss to take. We do have Rifleman being pumped out here for Romantic. We have the Arcane Sanctum as well. I believe it's just going to be Riflemen and Priests. I don't think Sorceresses will be trained up at all this game, so pretty standard Rifle Healer comp here. And yeah, there's that. I believe this is just a regular frog. Yeah, we don't even have an Arcane Vault, so it is not a mechanical critter. I also don't think Moon would be so apt to leave a critter up alive. We do have the Alchemist picking up some random tome. I don't think it was experience because that one doesn't actually drop experience there. Treant is gonna fall, and the Archmage not as close to level 3 as I would expect, but that's mainly because both these guys were fighting quite a bit. So Mountain King second here for Romantic. Just, it looks pretty standard this game, so I'm not gonna be too surprised anymore unless we do have a curveball from either side. We do have +1/+1 upgrades for Alpha Moon as we are pumping out those Dryads. Of course, still have to wait a little while longer to see if it is just going to remain Mass Dryads, or we're going to have a splash of Druid of Claws here. Sasquatch is going to get taken down, and item is going to be picked up by Moon. Replenish Potion onto that Keeper. Still pumping out a lot of Riflemen here, so population is currently 48 for Romantic, 38 for Moon, so yeah, despite both sides pumping out of 2 production buildings, oh yikes, we are going to have a Wisp cancelling that Moon Wall there. Elemental actually doing quite a bit of work, and yeah, just going to expire at that. Rock Golem Camp is going to get taken out here by Moon. This will give level 3 over to the Keeper unless Romantic has something to say about it. His army is a little bit stronger than his opponents, but level 3 has been attained for the Keeper, and a TB scroll is going to be channeled. We do have one Archer being left behind. That was kind of a weird positioning for his rest of the units, but the Ancient of War is just going to get taken out. Rifleman turning around and finishing off that Archer. I'm not sure why she did just run away, but yeah, there is that. Sentry Ward was placed down by Romantic it seems, but we do have the Goblin Lab. I believe Goblin Lab, yep, there it is. Revealing the location of that. And the Ancient of War finally goes down. Alchemist with that Greater Healing Potion, thanks to the Rock Golem Camp. Yeah, shouldn't be worried about that mana pool just quite yet. Of course, he needs to be a little careful not to get interrupted by the Mountain King Stormbolts, as I think the Keeper went for some harassment here. Don't actually see any noticeable damage, so I think that is mainly due to the Arcade Tower. The Sentry Ward here has spotted the Night Elf army, so that is going to give the green light over to Romantic, and he's going to go right after that first Ancient of Lore. As we are still pumping out a lot of Dryads, so it seems like it's going to be Mass Dryads versus Rifle Healers. And here we go. The Elemental is going to get quickly abolished here, as 58 for Romantic, 53 for Moon. Chemical Rage is going to be cast by the Alchemist there, so no healing whatsoever for the Night Elf units just quite yet. Stormbolt is going to do a decent amount of damage, bring that Keeper down to about half health. We do have a healing scroll just in case, as I believe the alchemist is going to toss, or he has tossed the chemical, the acid bomb there, so lots of damage being dealt to those armor shredded units. Alchemist, very, very low health. The healing scroll is going to try and top him off very nicely. Moon walls are almost wiped out, to be honest. Moon needs to be a little careful. He does have sort of the disadvantage when it comes to attack and armor typing here. Chemical Rage is going to be cast, and you can see those riflemen constantly being topped off by those priests. Militia also being brought over to try and apply some pressure and probably drop some towers down, as we do have another Stormbolt onto the Alchemist there, so that is probably going to be the rest of the moon walls being completely emptied, as Romantic is not letting up with his pressure. He is still hasn't placed down those towers or even an arcane vault, so those priests, those peasants are not going to do too much there, as the Alchemist and Keeper is going to be pushed back. So yeah, both sides relatively similar in terms of supply, but it is going to be Romantic, the one being pushed back a little bit. Those Dryads aren't going to actually offer too much here, because they'll just get absolutely shredded by those Riflemen, who are +1 arm attack upgrades. Dryads are +1/+1, but because they are unarmored, they do take a lot of damage from those Riflemen there. Acid Bomb going to be cast, and -4 armor is going to hopefully try and equalize things a little bit here. Invuln is going to wear out for the Alchemist, so he needs to be a little careful not to get burst down with another Stormbolt. Thankfully the Mountain King is out of mana, so there is that, but the Arcane Vault is done, so I believe the Mountain King should be able to pick up some items if he needs to, as the Rifleman numbers have dropped down quite a bit, down to 2 Riflemen right now. We do have a bunch of priests, but they're not going to do too much versus those Dryads. Alchemist has been Stormbolted to death, as the Mountain King does finish him off there. Keeper is out of mana, so I'm not going to offer too much aside from his auto attacks there. But all the Dryads need to do is go after the last Rifleman, and that's pretty much that for Romantic, unless he makes a devastating comeback with his heroes. They are going to have to deal with all these Dryads left over. Of course, the Peasants can offer some DPS as well, but not the likes that you would expect or want, I guess. The Dryad's still holding on there. Of course, the Mountain King is gonna try his best to apply that bash proc, as that does not get resisted by those Dryads. As another Rifleman bites the dust here. Priests don't heal too much, but yeah, that Rifleman actually lasted a lot longer than I would have expected. Keeper at the tavern, I'm not sure if he's gonna make that revival, as the revival is gonna happen at the altar. More Riflemen being caught in transit, so yeah, despite Romantic having a forward position here, he can't really press against these buildings because, I mean, all he's got is priests. He really should, I guess, consider placing down some towers, because I guess it is a little too late right now. He is going to channel that TP scroll instead, as yeah, just not enough units to sustain that push further. I am actually surprised he didn't actually consider placing down towers. That would have pressured Moon way more than just the lone Arcane Vault. It would have forced Moon's hand at least to attack a little earlier, but instead, yeah, it didn't really threaten the game-winning play, and kind of gave his opponent enough time to just gather his numbers, and now it is 47 for Moon versus Romantic's 37. Dryads are moving out, and I mean, honestly, kind of like last fight, all they need to do is focus those Riflemen, and pretty much half of Romantic's army is useless, because priests can't actually attack Dryads due to their anti-magic traits. Here we go here, Dryads, I guess just doing some scouting. They're just trying to make Romantic honest, not go for any what is it? Any major creep camps, I should say. Although at Romantic's position, I don't think he can actually risk red creep camps here. He probably could go for these merc camps, He hasn't even cleared out his gold mine camp just quite yet, but that is going to get scouted by those treants. So right now, yeah, Romantic is kind of being boxed in his own base this time. And this might give the breathing room that Moon needs. He could even go for an expansion if he wants, since this gold mine has been cleared out. But other than that, level 5 on the Keeper, level 4 for the Alchemist, is going to have that Devotion Aura. I believe he's going to keep it, since honestly, +1 armor probably is going to be quite a bit of an impact for those Dryads when they are dealing with those Riflemen here. And yeah, honestly, I would expect maybe a workshop being placed down and bringing some mortar teams over, since they are going to have such a nice grouping of targets to go after, but I guess not. Stormbolt onto the Keeper there. He does not have a TP scroll, nor does he have a invuln, so this is going to be a bit difficult for him to stay alive. Might be able to pick up an invuln or maybe a TP scroll, but he is going to get taken out instead. It seems like Moon did pick up the TP scroll, but he wasn't able to be quick enough and channel it, so that is a huge loss for him. The Granite Golem does get taken down, so the Hood of Cunning is going to get picked up by the Alchemist. Keeper, level 5, that is going to be an expensive revive, so he's going to be forced to do it through the altar. That is going to take a long time, however, and that is pretty much the window that Romantic can take advantage of. Mooney, on the other hand, is going to try and take advantage of the counterattack as, yeah, normal defense, just a single arcane tower. We did have the workshop being cancelled there, so at least Romantic was thinking of those mortar teams. But this is just going to be a trade of a couple of buildings here. One Moon is going to go down, possibly going to have put Moon upside down supply, but it's a lot of Moon wants to take down, to be honest. And the Dryads haven't really done too much. They've only killed off most of those gold mining peasants there, as we have a very nice TP, and that is going to entrap a couple of Dryads as well. Very nicely done on that TP positioning, and yeah, all that because of the Keeper dying a little too early. It probably was a mistake to have that Keeper without any form of invuln, because yeah, he was so pushed up ahead, and he knows his opponent has Stormbolt, so if he gets caught out by that once, he's probably screwed.
Ready to work.
Either way, I imagine the workshop should finally be placed down once again. We do have the Alchemist running around while invisible. Maybe pick up a couple of sappers here, but I mean, those Riflemen are still there, so not sure what those sappers might be able to do. We are going to have Zeppelin being hired up instead, probably to just act as a scout, I believe. Blob of Blue is moving out to clear out the gold mine here, so yeah, not sure if we're gonna have an expansion, but here we go. We are gonna have the Keeper. I believe he did TP over to the Alchemist there, and that is gonna be a little bit of pressure on the gold line once again. Yeah, not much defense, to be honest. He did have, I believe, I'm not sure if the Keeper can actually fit through there. Oh, he actually can. Okay, I'm not sure why he was so hesitant to move along, but that is, regardless, going to be a lot of downtime on the economy of Romantic. He is going to have a couple of peasants dying to the acid bomb there. Priests, I don't know what they were doing. They were just watching their brethren die, and yeah, 3 or 4 peasants dying to that acid bomb is very nice, to be honest. That is going to force Romantic to waste gold on replenishing those peasants, and that kind of delays the expansion even more. So we might not even have the expansion being dropped down, I don't know. But we are going to have tier 3 for Moon, so that could maybe indicate a transition into bears, or we might even have mountain giants, I don't know. Mountain giants do seem like a pretty good addition to the team, because yeah, they just they get tickled by those riflemen, to be honest. And taunts would be quite a bit of nice utility for him. The Zeppelin with the heroes here are not too sure if I should call it trapped, but at least they are just gonna wait for the time to attack. Mountain King with his priests. Not sure how much defense they can actually provide when it comes to the keeper harassment here, but we're gonna have the heroes being dropped over here, and we are gonna have TV staff being used by the keeper instead. So the alchemist kind of left to his own devices, so he needs to be a little careful not to get taken out with the Stormbolt. Chemical Rage is going to be used to try and give him that movement speed that he needs, but I imagine another Stormbolt might be coming out. Maybe? Nope. Never mind, we do have Keeper actually being very progressive with his Dryads, going to force the TP scroll from the Archmage here, so I guess that's why the Mountain King kind of left pursuit, because he actually knew what was actually coming. I probably should have paid more attention to the minimap. But either way, Goldmine wiped out here for Moon, so I believe as soon as this Tree of Eternity is done, we should be having this guy moving over to this Goldmine. Unless of course Moon wants to go for some all-in kind of play, which is probably not recommended since they don't really, Night Elf doesn't really have much all-in benefits. Either way, Eternity is now done. We are going to have a couple of Mountain Giants also being produced, so yep, like I said, pretty nice roundup to this composition. A lot better tanks compared to bears, to be honest, so yep, there is that. They do take a crap ton of food supply, however, so Moon's army numbers are going to look a lot less compared to his opponent, who I guess isn't really that much in numbers either.
Our gold mine has collapsed.
Gold mine has now just collapsed, and we probably need an expansion being dropped here because unlike Night Elf, you can't actually move your keep to another location. You kind of have to build a new one.
Locked and loaded.
Treants moving around. They do have half duration left, so they can do some harassment if they need to, but I don't actually see any peasants here. They are actually going to get brought over, so it seems like Romantic's going to have the final fight here because he knows his opponent is going to take advantage of that Tree of Eternity. Stormbolt is going to take down one of those wisps, and this looks to be the final fight, I would say. Romantic going to go straight after that Tree of Eternity. Moon, on the other hand, is not actually going to take that fight. And he's actually going to choose to base race this, so I guess he is a little scared of his opponent's army comp, since that's a lot of riflemen to take down. And I'm not sure if two Mountain Giants can actually attack that for very long, so yeah. This does seem like it's just going to be a base race here. Moon is going to start channeling his reveal time, however, since his Tree of Eternity did get taken out. Mountain Giants do at least offer some siege damage thanks to those trees, but that's a lot of units to try and race. But it seems like Romantic is going to be the one to try and force the fight here. Did take down his opponent's Tree of Eternity, so he does at least have that kind of leeway. Acid Bomb doing a good chunk to that back line there, trading that armor as well. And we are going to have a lot of Wisp detonating as much as possible, bringing those priests down to very low mana. We do have we actually have full mana on that Mountain King though, so things are kind of looking a little bad for Moon, however. Mountain King did take a chunk, so that kind of does alleviate some sorts, but yeah, the Mountain Giants are right in the thick of things right now. It's 48 for Moon, 53 for Romantic. We are going to have, it seems like, Moon being pushed back a little bit. I mean, the Mountain Giants are healthy as ever. I don't actually like Moon layering his taunts because, yeah, it's fairly long cooldown, and yeah, kind of want that 100% uptime on that taunt. However, we are going to have a good number of Dryads just going down here Moon down to 42. Meanwhile, Romantic might actually lose his Mountain King. Entangle is gonna finish him off, and we might have a trade onto that Alchemist maybe. But yeah, nice pickup there for Moon. That might be able to slow things down a little bit. Alchemist, honestly, if the Alchemist was taken down, Moon probably would have lost his slight lead, but he is going to try and take advantage of those Moon Rolls instead. And we are about to be revealed for Moon. Okay, so yeah, pretty much Romantic has full vision of his opponent's buildings now. And yeah, can't really sneak a Moon Roll, to be honest. So this, once again, on the last fight here, 39 versus 52, a lot of Riflemen to try and deal with. I don't think the 2 Mana Giants are going to be enough. Moon Rolls are also dried out completely, so that is a bit of a difficult fight to go after. Zeppelin Micro is also being utilized by Romantic. You can see that the Mountain Giants aren't really being focused. It's the Riflemen going after those Dryads, however. And yeah, that is going to be a couple of Riflemen actually paying the price. Alchemist needs to be a little careful. He doesn't have actually any healing whatsoever in his kit anymore, because yeah, he didn't actually put any points into it, so it's a lot of Riflemen into that Zeppelin, and uh-oh, we do have Tranquility as well, so as soon as I said the Moon Rolls are completely dried out, we do have level 6 onto that Keeper. We also have level 6 onto the Archmage as well, so Tranquility versus Mass Teleport. It's kind of a bad position for Romantic to now be in, but now that he is going to get his own Mountain Giant back, I fairly certain the lead should kind of push back towards Romantic's favor. But still, Tranquility with those Mountain Giants are going to be quite a task to go after. I mean, Romantic had this has had this supply advantage for quite a long time, but he hasn't actually managed to take down at least one of these Mountain Giants. Stormbolt onto the Keeper there. Bit of a premature Stormbolt, to be honest. I was expecting him to save that until the Tranquility gets casted, but yeah, you can see there the Riflemen finally going after those Mountain Giants. As long as you take one down, it makes your life a whole lot easier. And yeah, this is just a really bad position for Moon to be in now. He either needs an Invuln or he needs a Spell Immunity Potion on that Keeper if he wants to go for the Tranquility. And I would imagine Romantic is just not going to be able to let up the pressure. Did the Keeper Invuln? I could have sworn I heard the Invuln before the Tranquility got cast, but yeah, a bit of a weird one. I imagine him picking up the, what is it, Spell Invuln Potion, but it seems like he doesn't have enough gold. Rather unfortunate, as we have a Stormbolt onto the Alchemist there, just doing a little bit of chip damage onto them, as yes, once again another fight is going to ensue. Acid Bomb has been cast onto that clump of Riflemen, so they need to be a little careful of those Dryads, but I guess the Dryads just really don't want to go through that meat shredder of the Rifleman line, and yeah, you can see there, instantly one Dryad gets taken out. Zeppelin just being ready to go for some Zeppelin Micro once again, and Romantic might be able to finish this despite level 6 Keeper of the Grove. Tranquility just doesn't seem to be enough when you're facing a whole boatload of Riflemen there. A nice Stormbolt to cancel that Keeper of the Grove right there. I'm honestly shocked that he didn't actually sell any of his items to pick up a Spell Immunity Potion there. As you can see, Keeper going for a cheeky Mass Teleport to get a little bit of extra distance onto his opponent there, and that is going to be the last, one of the last Dryads taken out. Alchemist trying to take his staff away, and it seems like he is able to escape in time. Actually, never mind, he only escapes a little bit of distance there as he tries to mimic his opponent's Mass Teleport. Mountain Giant is going to get taken out, and I believe that is the first Mountain Giant. Freeze? Oh, okay, never mind. A bit of a weird freeze here, but yeah, I believe this is Moon's loss as a Stormbolt, wow, kills off the Keeper of the Grove. I'm actually shocked that killed, but that is gonna be that. Just, it was a fairly poor comp to face against with Mass Dryads. Riflemen just do so much work versus them, and I'm surprised Romantic was able to take this without the support of any mortar teams. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Rifleman, pretty OP.